Imagine a world where you're very healthy and is mentally well, and the economy rises. Hi, I'm the first speaker of the affirmative team, and today I will use my first and only point to say why health is better than commercials. My first and only point is that health how health makes a better well-being and a happier life. Health is crucial for a good life, since without it, you'll spend your whole life in agony and being sick. Well-being is not just the absence of disease or illness. It is a complex combination of a person's physical, mental, emotional, and social health factors. Happiness is also very important for well-being. This is true because it reduces hormones like cortisols. This is important because happiness reduces stress, making mental
POI.
health improve.
POI.
No. Have you heard of the saying laughter is the best cure? Having good health also reduces the chance of catching viruses. This is essential because some of these viruses, like hantavirus or rabies, can be lethal and life-changing. Also, if you aren't physically and mentally well, you cannot go to work, making the economy drop. This will also affect the investors that support the business. Imagine you put your life savings into like sport and you get less than what you got before because basically all the athletes are sick. So this is why I believe our side should win. Thank you.
Imagine, Judge, you're a boss. Your worker comes late every day. You angrily ask him, "Why are you late?" "Because I'm doing self-care culture," he said. How would you feel? It is exactly our opponent's world. Hello, everybody. I'm the first speaker of the odd team supporting the disagreeing the topic. This house supports the rise of self-care culture. First, my definition. Self-care culture means that you improve your physical mental health, as my opponent said, but affects other and affects yourself at last in an invisible way. Our burden is not to prove that self-care culture is bad. It may be important, but it's not necessary that we need to increase it. We need to rise self-care culture. First, to my rebuttal. My my opponent has said that self-care culture can make better health. Of course, better health is important, and that's what our opponent said. But but there's no reason that self-care culture can make a people more healthy. They may say, "Yeah, you can have self-care culture. You can buy some medicine to you. You can buy some better food." Yeah, right. But do you have the money to buy the food? Or being fit is not a self-care culture. Is what you want to do is what you
POI?
no what you charge yourself to do every day. If you have a self-care culture, you may not do sports anymore. You may be unhealthy. My first claim is that it affects others. If you do so much self-care culture, you affect others. Because if you do so much self-care culture, you think the world is around you, which is not. And it's not good for your future because if you are in a company, you may be fired. And if you have no friends, if you are in a school, you may have no friends. For example, when you are in a teamwork and you are the only one who has self-care culture, they may don't like you because you have no contribution. And if they all have self-care culture, no one will be productive. And it's like a company. It will be doomed.
POI?
And yeah.
Um, you said that if you have self-care culture, you might turn up late and you won't be productive anymore. But do you believe this if without self-care culture, you'll be sick and won't even be able to turn up?
Without self-care, oh, you didn't understand the topic. We didn't said without self-care culture. We just said we don't increase it. So you may look at the title better. So for the impact, companies will not be so productive as before, and people will not have good futures as before. And for himself, he will be fired and have no friends. And my second claim is that it affects your health. If you're fired, no one will like a lazy girl like you, and you will have no good future. And if you have no friends, you will have no mental health because you will not have no people to complain to. And for example, you are very comfortable, and because of self-care culture, and you don't know what its difficulties, no new discoveries and invention, and the world can't make no improvements. And this impacts yourself because you'll have no future and you'll be fired and you'll be lazy, which affects your mental health. And our opponent might say they will just increase a little in self-care culture. But if you just increase a little in self-care culture, you will feel comfortable even if that's not good for you. And you will increase bigger and bigger in the self-care culture. And that is actually not good for you because if you start, you will increase. And that's not good because of my two reasons. And Judge, we don't
Yeah,
say we
what?
ban self-care culture. It's just not rising the self-care culture. So, Judge, to be, if you want itself to be better and others to not be affected, and the world will be improved, please vote for the op team. Thank you.
Imagine a world where all people are more caring, considerate, and overall have better mental well being. This is side of feminist world, but side negative does not want this to happen. Before presenting my two substantives on improved care for others and economic advantages, I will first deliver a rebuttal. The first feminist speaker says that people who concentrate on self culture for themselves will not be a team player and overall won't be able to do more work. But we do not believe this claim, as if you can care for yourself, it will be easier for you to care for others, as you know how to care for yourself. And with a clearer mindset, you will be able to do work well and want to help others because with people with clear mindsets and focus on mental well-being can also focus on others' well-being. Moving on to my speech. My first point is that it can lead to improved care for others. When you take care of your own self, you might see others and believe that if you can help yourself, it may benefit others too. Why is this true? I have two reasons. When you know how to care for yourself, then you know how to care for others, which will convince you to care for others more. And second, you are less selfish when caring for your mental health because you feel better and more willing to care. I have two reasons why this is important.
Sure.
This is it, it is better no, it is better to be surrounded in a caring environment. And second, more people will favor you and it can lead to more friendships if you can help other people. Let's use buckets as an example. Metaphorically, it's similar to um, filling someone's bucket when you care for others, as said in a yes.
You said that you're in a helping environment and you can help others and and that is very good. But you look at the topic. It's about self-caring, not other caring. And you didn't explain the relations between self-caring and other caring. You self-care so much and that you may not want to help others. How can you apply that?
Well, if you care for yourself, then you're gonna probably want to care for others because you can see if someone's having a bad day, you can have a clearer mindset, and you can see when others are not feeling the best. So you'll know how to care for them. You can say, "Let's talk," or do you wanna go to the library or read, or whatever you think feels better because you understand the people more. Um, Moving on with my speech. As said in a book titled Filling Others' Buckets. Caring for others is similar to this, but with better well being. It might be easier. My next point is about economic advantages. Why is this true? I have two reasons. Firstly, when you learn to take care of yourself, small infected cuts may be easy for you to deal with, and doctors have more time to deal with urgent patients. And second, when you take care of yourself, you can spend less money on unnecessary things. Why is this important? Saving money can allow more important purchases to be made to help your well-being and others. And second, by reducing doctor visits, you allow a higher population for everyone. Why? Why is this important? Wait, no. An example. For example, if you were a patient with serious injury, you would want to be patient with a minor injury to take your spot, and you wouldn't want that to happen just because you called late. At the end of the day, the world should be a more caring and considerate place. As side affirmative, we are happy to propose. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Up 2. We strongly disagree with the motion. This house supports the rise of self-care culture. First, I would like to say again, we are not banning it. We are only not supporting the rise of over self-care. First, I will do my rebuttal and then my own claim. Now, on my rebuttal. My first opponent says that self-care improves health. However, health is good, but as our first speaker said, we are not banning self-care. We might health, and having self-care means that you need to be happy. And some people eating junk food is happy. Does it make you happy? No, it does not. Some people might want to only rest in their place. Does that mean that they're happy? Are they exercising? Are they healthy? No, they'll be obese. My second opponent said it's better for a caring environment. However, a caring environment is nice, but look at the topic. We said self-care, caring for yourself. Over-caring is also not right. Yes.
My second speaker already said this, but I would just like to point this out. If you know how to self-care and you know how it feels if you are cared for and how good it feels, then why won't you be incentivized to help others around you?
Because you can, but not having self-care also does not mean you cannot help others. You can still help others if you don't have self-care. Now to my claim. My claim is that over self-care damages the society in various ways. Imagine this. Everybody has to go out to work on time, right? Now, perhaps is that they cannot go to work if they feel like they don't want to, because it's self-care. But thousands of things are required to do for everybody in the society. If everybody takes a break, no one will fix trains, no one flying planes, the streets will become dirty, no one cleaning them. Without workers, the world will collapse. Everyone wants service, but their job is to help people and service people. They don't. Over time, there will be no more energy, no more water, because nobody is cleaning the hoses and making energy, turning it to a mega crisis. Not only work, police will also take breaks. Criminals will take the situation. With no police, the world will be in chaos. Robberies, murders. This impact has a high magnitude and a high risk, affecting everybody, even you. Imagine this. You having no drinkable water. Isn't that mind-blowing? If you want a safe road, a happy place, please vote for UP. For above, we are proud to oppose. Thank you.
Hello, I'm the third proposition speaker, and I would like to do some rebuttal. I believe that there are three major clash issues in this debate, and I would like to resolve all of them and prove why our team should win this debate. The first clash issue is on the impact on productivity. The second is on the impact on health and the health of the community. And the third is the rise of self-care versus status quo. On to the first clash issue. The first clash issue on impact on productivity. The opponent made an argument that people who prioritize self-care might turn up late to work or not be productive, and therefore people like you would get fired. But this is not true for many reasons and also not important. This is not true because, first of all, look at the info slide. The info slide says that self-care includes balanced food choices, exercise, sleep, and hygiene. None of these things take more than 5 minutes to do, and therefore you should not be late to work. Secondly, this is also not true because self-care you can do self-care after you have work, for example. And also thirdly, this is not important because even if you take way too long to do self-care in the morning, then it is better than turning up to work sick and then being sent home. Our team has made a few arguments on this clash. We have said that if you prioritize self-care, you won't be sick and therefore you'll be more productive. And secondly, if you prioritize self-care, you'll know how to care for others and therefore others will be more productive as well. So therefore, at the end of this clash, I believe that our team has won this clash because we responded to the argument the other team made and our arguments are still standing. Secondly, the clash on the impact on the health and the health of the community. The opposing team said that if you prioritize self-care too much, then you'll be too selfish and you won't want to care for others. And even if you do want to care for others, if you care for yourself, no thank you, then you can still care for others without self-care. So but this is not true and not important. Firstly, this is not true because if you don't prioritize self-care and you still want to and you still help others, you won't know firstly how it feels to be helped, so you won't have more of an incentive to help others. Secondly, you won't know how to help others as you haven't tried helping someone else before. And this is also not important because helping others after self-care means you have more experience in helping others. Our team has made the following arguments on this clash. We have said that prioritizing self-care makes you less likely to become sick, therefore the economy will become more productive. And therefore, we believe that at the end of this clash, we should win this clash because we responded to all the arguments the other team made. This is one of the most important clash issues in this debate, as the impact on the health of the citizens and the productivity caused by that is the major stakeholder of this debate. On to the final clash issue, the clash issue on the rise in self-care versus the status quo. The opposing team said that they aren't banning self-care. They're just like not supporting a rise in self-care. But this is not important because right now in the status quo, over 60% of adults in the whole world are obese, and then more than 40% of the people in the world who die of natural causes, which could have been prevented by self-care. And therefore, a rise in self-care would prevent a lot of these deaths. Our team has made the arguments in this clash that a rise in self-care would make people more healthy, and therefore they would be more productive and make a more productive economy. And therefore, at the end of this clash, I believe we should win this clash, as we have responded to the argument the other team made, and we have and our arguments are still standing. And so, at the end of this day, we were able to win all of the major clash issues, and therefore, I believe this debate should go to us. Thank you.
Judge, proposition always believes that we are stopping self-care culture. But however, this debate was never about banning self-culture or having self-culture. It's about the rise. So as a third speaker of the opposition team, I'll first do my rebuttal and rebuildings, then my clashes, then the best case, worst case, and then clarifying our team's argument and the important stakeholders. So first, my rebuttals. My opponents claim that first, better health and having self-care can have better health and can be mentally well. But however, people think you are happy is like, if you want to be healthy, you can do like fitness, running. But however, if you want to be very, very happy, like Proposition 1 said, you have to like eat things that you like. It's, like for example, McDonald's. When you eat McDonald's, don't you feel happy? Rejected. So second of all, yes, they are mentally well after like self-care. But however, they can be
they're going to be too relaxed. Judge, they want to be exercising, but however, would anybody want to go exercising except for like people who love exercising, like go to do them? No, they just want to go home and relax. So, and first of all, they said that it can lead to improved care with others, but however, their complete argument, the completely argument is about happiness and mental. But however, if we
POI.
have too much happiness, okay.
You said that to be truly happy, you have to do things that you like to do, such as eat McDonald's or not exercise. But can you? Is it possible to be happy without while still prioritizing self-care, which includes maintaining a healthy eating diet and exercising?
I didn't say that they're stop exercising. I just said that they don't want to exercise, but I didn't say they're completely not doing exercises. So, and their question does not stand. So now moving on to my buildings. My teammates claim that it affects others, it affects yourself, and it damages society in various ways. But however, my opponent attempt to rebut this by saying like fitness and exercising is self-care, but however, relaxing is actually like what they are doing when they're self-care because they want to sleep, they want to relax, they don't want to do anything except for sleeping on their bed. We're not saying that they're always sleeping on their bed, but like they still exercise, but not as much as before. And now moving on to my clashes. First of all, proposition believes that self-care is important, but however, the rise of continuous movement and over self-care can lead to negative consequences. Second of all, the main question of this debate is unhealthiness vs happiness. And however, we win this clash completely because because of course we need
POI.
healthiness over happiness for the most rejected. So, and just to clarify, we're not saying that we're going without self-care. We're just saying that we're not rising about self-care. Like too much self-care is not good, and but too less self-care is also not good. We're just on that line, which is not good, not that like laziness and not that bad. So now moving on to our best case, worst case, we have a reasonable amount of self-care, and it's not as much for self-care to make people much more lazy. And our worst case is that we don't have as much as happiness as before, but as if we rise the self-care culture. But however, we still have.
Hello, everybody. I'm here to show that why our team totally win on the clashes. Why Op shall win. First, there's three main clashes: mental health, and about others. First, I will explain why we win in the mental health clash. First, in our side, we have better mental health because if 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 they just maintain the self-care culture now, they will have good mental health. But if they increase mental health, if they increase the self-care culture, they will have less mental health because of they will have no friends because they will be lazy because they think the world is around them. So they are not good to so their attitude are not good to others. So they will have less friends. So they will have not as much as mental health as our team. So Op totally win in the first clash about mental health. And the second clash is about physical health. In our team, we have physical health because they are just maintaining the self care culture, and in their world, they are increasing the self-care culture, and that makes them don't want to do sports because do sports is what they are what they in charge of themselves. And if they have so much self-care self-care culture, they're not likely to do sports anymore because that's not what they want. And and they care so much of themselves, so they want to do what they want. So we totally win in the second clash. And in the third clash, it's about others. In their world, they're not good to others they because of they're not so productive to others, and they're mean to others, and it's not a good world to others. For the world comparison, in our world, everyone works. It's a safe world, and we have reasonable amount of self-care. And in their world, people are not healthy and they have bad mental health and they're just focused on themselves. This shows that our world is much better than theirs. For all these reasons, please vote for our team. Please vote for the op team. Thank you.
Good afternoon, esteemed adjudicator and respected opposition. As a reply speaker, I look back into this debate and explain why we won this round. This debate ultimately came down to two words: a more considerate and caring world with overall better well-being, or a world where self-care is not encouraged. Before talking about my two clashes, I want to say that we are not saying that your world is banning self-care. We're just saying that your is not supporting self-care as much as our world. Now I will talk about two clashes. The first clash was about the impact on productivity. Side negative argued that when people focus on self-care, they will have less time for other things. But this argument ultimately crumbled through the floor that with a clear mindset and better well-being, you are more focused. This happened when we told you that you get more work done when you have better mental well-being. The opposition failed to fully support this claim, and that is why we fully won this clash. The second clash was about the impact on others. Side negative argued that you will only focus on yourself and not others. But we argued if you had better health care and mental well-being, you'll want to help others and you'll have more friends too. The opposition tried to deplete this, but at the end of the debate, it still stood strong. Our side also asks if you would rather be happy at a young age from eating McDonald's and all that stuff, but then die sooner than, or would you rather be healthy when you're young and in the future you'll be alive and you'll be stronger and have a better mindset and well-being in general? Because we successfully defended our burden and the opposition's case ultimately crumbled, I believe side affirmative should win this debate. Thank you.